Okay, let's talk about the topic 2 assessment we've been working on to get ready for our test. Remember, we're doing our 7 steps, 8 steps for word problem solving with each word problem. So the table shows the number of hot dogs Frank's hot dog stand sold this weekend. Here's your hot dogs sold. And here's your numbers. So you should be making sure that you understand which table you're using. Part A, we're going to estimate the number of hot dogs sold. So we're looking for the total number by rounding each number in the table to the nearest 1,000 and finding the sum. So we have to do both. We have to round and find the sum. We have 2 steps that we have to answer. First, I'm going to take my thousands place value and I'm going to underline it because I know that's the place value that I am looking at. I'm going to point to the boss, which is the friend next door, to the right of the place value we're looking at. If it's 4 or less, we let it rest, so that means the place value stays the same. If it's 5 or more, we raise the score and we add 1 to our place value that's underlined. So we know that 8 is 5 or more, so we add 1 to our 3 and we get 4,000. We know that 2 is less than 4, so we're going to keep the 1, so we estimate 1,000. We know that 1 is less than 4, so we're going to let the 4 rest here as well, so we get another 4,000. Now I know after I round to the nearest 1,000, I have to find the sum, right? So I have to add all of these together. I'm going to put my addition button. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I have 9,000. So all we need to write in here is our equation. 4,000 plus 1,000 plus 4,000 equals 9,000. And the reason why I only expect you then to rewrite your equation here is because you've shown me all of your work and what you are thinking up here. Part B, we're going to write and solve an equation to find out how many hot dogs were sold. Okay, so now they want us to take the actual numbers and find out the exact amount. So on Friday they sold 3,825. On Saturday they sold 1,297. On Sunday they sold 4,175 hot dogs. We want to add those all together. Don't forget, make your place value columns so that you have your carryover spots and you keep your numbers in order in line. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 7 is 17. We need to carry those 10 ones over. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 7 is 17, plus 2 is 19. We carry those 10 tens over. We have 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. We carry those 10 hundreds over. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we get a total of 9,297. Our estimate was very close, so we know that we are within a good range there. Number 2, a band made 8,000 copies of an album. They sold, which means we're subtracting, so you put your subtraction button above, 6,280 copies. How many copies are left? Left means we're finding the difference. So again, I'm putting a subtraction button to remind me I'm finding the difference. I need to write my equation. 8,000 minus 6,280. I can't take 8 from 0. I know 0 minus 0 is 0. I need to borrow. I can't because I have another 0. So I'm going to hop all the way over to the place value that has a digit in it. I'm going to take 1 away from 8 and make that 7. I'm going to make 1000, but I still need to borrow for my tens place value, so I'm going to cross out the 10 subtract 1, I get 9, and I'm going to make that 10. I can count up 8, 9, 10. I know that 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1,720 copies. There's my answer that matches. I can choose C. Tom earned 134,867 points playing a video game, and Carlos earned 29,978 points. How many more points did Tom earn than Carlos? I know that how many more means I have to subtract. I'm finding the difference. I need to write my equation. 134,867 minus, I'm finding the difference, 29,978. Now remember, I need to be able to see your work on your paper in order for you to get full credit. So you're going to want to make sure you either attach a separate sheet of paper with your equations worked out, like I am doing on mine, or you're writing them on your sheet like this. So I'm finding the difference. I cannot take 8 from 7. I need to borrow. I'm going to subtract 1 from 6 and make that 5, and then I get 17. Now I can count up to 17 from 8, but I know that 9 plus 8 is 17, and therefore 17 minus 8 is 9. I cannot take 7 from 5. I have to borrow from my 800, make that 700, and put my 10 tenths over there. 15 minus 7 is 8, because 8 plus 7 is 15. I cannot take 9 from 7, so I'm going to borrow again, excuse me, and put my 10 hundredths over there. 17 minus 9 is 8, and we know this because 8 plus 9 is 17. We cannot take 9 from 3, and I know there's a lot of borrowing in here. We're going to make the 3 a 2 and put my 10 over there, my 1, and make it 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. 4 plus 9 is 13. So I'm checking myself as I go with the inverse operation to make sure I am correct. 2 minus 2 is 0, and 1 minus nothing is 1. So I go 1, tens, hundreds, thousands, 104,889. Let's see if we can find a match to our answer. And we're going to check. 104,889. My choice should be D. Lewis used compensation to find 6,572 minus 239. We are not doing compensation, so we can cross out number 4. Number 5. Write the number that makes the number sentence true. So we're going to write the number that makes the number sentence true. Whoops. Then write what property of addition the number sentence shows. Now remember, we have the commutative property, the identity property, and the associative property. We have 12,769 plus 13,432 equals what plus 12,769? Well, we know that we need to make this sentence true, so we have to figure out which addend is missing, and I know that it doesn't have the 13,432. Now, because we moved the numbers around, right, we know that this represents the commutative property of addition. These numbers can switch. It doesn't matter. They can commute in any way they want to, as long as we're adding them. So we are, then write what property of addition the number sentence shows. So we're using the commutative property. Okay, let's go to the back side. Okay, Mount Steele is 5,029 meters tall. Mount Whitney is 4,421 meters tall. How much taller How much taller? We're finding the difference again. That means we are subtracting, so we're going to draw our subtraction button. Is Mount Steele than Mount Whitney? We're finding the difference. Okay, now I write pretty big, so I'm going to write my equation here with as much room as I can find on my paper. 5,029 minus 4,421 equals, and I'm going to put my place value lines in there. 9 minus 1 is 8, 2 minus 2 is 0. I can't take 4 from 0, so I'm going to borrow from my thousands, make that a 4, and make that a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, and then 4 minus 4 is 0, but we don't have to write the 0. So the difference is 608 meters. Now you do have to write meters because you have to make sure that you are identifying what form of measurement you're using. Okay, we're going to draw lines, so make sure you underline that, to match the problems on the left with the sums and differences on the right. Okay, left with the right, and we're doing sums, which is addition, and differences, which is subtraction. I'm going to move my paper so I can use my desk, so I have more room, okay, as we do in class. So the first one says 12,395 plus 14,609. It's addition, but I'm going to put, ooh, my lights went out, so sorry. I'm going to put my place value lines. That was a little exciting. So I keep my numbers in order because I'm not using graph paper. 9 plus 5 is 14. Carry the 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 100. 6 plus 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Again, carry the 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. 27,004. So on my paper, I'm going to look for my sum. There's my 27,004. So I would make a line here. Let's do the next one. The next one we have 67,407 minus, so we're finding the difference, 38,227. Again, I'm making my place value lines. We have 7 minus 7 is 0. We cannot take 2 from 0, so we're going to borrow from our hundreds place value, make that a 3, make that a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 3 minus 2 is 1. We can't take 8 from 7. We're going to borrow, make the 6 a 5, and make that a 17. I know that 9 plus 8 is 17, so 17 minus 8 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 2. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. 29,180. So again, I'm going to find 29,180, which is my top one. That's my difference for this one. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oops, sorry about that. The next one is 76,237 minus 4,657. Make my place value lines. Whoops, a little bit too big for you, sorry about that. To keep my numbers in order. And I'm subtracting 7 minus 7 is 1. I can't take 5 from 3. I'm going to borrow and make that 2a1. Carry my 10 tens over there. I can't think of that difference this morning, so I'm going to count up from 5. Remember, that's one of our strategies. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I got 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. I can't take 6 from 1, so I'm going to borrow from the 6, make it a 5, and this becomes an 11. I know that 6 plus 5 is 11, so 11 minus 6 must be 5. 5 minus 4 is 1, and 7 minus nothing is 7. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. I have to find 71,581. Well, look at that. I know that that's not a choice, okay? I must have made a mistake somewhere. I know that I got close though, so I'm gonna now go back and see where my mistake is. This is a common problem in 4th grade, and so hopefully you already caught me and you're saying to yourself, no, Miss Erin, 7 minus 7 is not 1. 7 minus 7 is 0. Oh, now I have to go back and look at that. So if ever you get to that kind of problem where your answer is close, make sure you go back and check your addition or your subtraction, okay? Don't just take it for granted because you might have made a different error. Now we did this one in class already, and we only have one answer left. So I'm going to match my bottom one with 69,844. Number 8, in May, 8,723 cans were recycled. In June, 6,419 cans were recycled. What is the total number of cans recycled? Total number means sum, so we're going to add 8,723 plus 6,419. 9 plus 3 is 12. 2 plus 1 plus 1. 2, 3, 4. 7 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Counting up, I'm helping you remember what counting up is. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 9 plus 6 is 15. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. The total number of cans that were recycled is 15,142. Sandra used addition properties to rewrite the equation below. Select all the equations Sandra might have written. So we don't have to solve this, we just have to figure out which ones of these equations would work to still find the sum of n. 450 plus 125 plus 50. So we're going to check each one to make sure they have all 3 add-ins in it. This is 450 plus 50. It does not have all 3 add-ins, we cannot use it. And of course, it has to have our variable as well. 450 plus 50 plus 225. Well, that can't be right because we have 125, not 225. We do have our variable and the other 2 numbers match. We're going to cross that out. 50 plus 125 plus 450. 450, 125, and 50 equals n. We know we can use the commutative property, which means the numbers can be in any order as long as the add-ins are the same value. So we can choose that one. 450 plus 50 plus 125. 450 plus 50 plus 125 equals n. Again, the commutative property means the numbers can commute or travel anywhere within the equation, and we still get the same answer. 450 plus 50 plus 125 equals n. We've added some parentheses, and we know that the parentheses mean associative property of addition. 450 and 50 are associates, right? They like each other a lot, so they're hanging out in those parentheses. 450 plus 50 plus 125 equals n. So we can also choose that one, and that is our associative property. So these 2 are the commutative properties of addition, and this one is the associative property of addition. All right, let's go to number 10. Joe and Sarah recorded the number of birds they saw in the park over 2 summers. Sorry, let me get this right here now. Okay, so here's our birds in the park. Here's last year with finches and pigeons, and this year with finches and pigeons. Part A, we're going to write and solve equations to find how many more, which means we're going to find a difference. Total birds Joe and Sarah saw this year than last year. So we're going to be making a comparison. So we need to find the total between 1,219 and 4,620 for last year. 9 plus 0 is 9. 1 plus 2 is 3. 6 plus 2 is 8. 4 plus 1 is 5. So for last year, I'm going to abbreviate so that I don't get mixed up. We have a total of 5,839. This year, we have 5,287 plus 906. 6 plus 7 is 13, carry our 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9, 10, 11, counting up, carry our 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So this is this year. And I'm abbreviating so I don't get confused. So we found the totals, now we need to find the difference. So let's take these and find the difference. So I want my larger number on top, so 6,193 minus 5,839. I'm just going to do this to save myself some work. Oh, my lead is breaking. And I want to make some place value lines because I want to make sure, I know I have to borrow. I have some small numbers up here that I'm going to have to take larger numbers from. So my place value lines are really going to help me. Borrow 1 from the 9, we get 8. Carry the 1 over. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 minus 9 is 4. 8 minus 3 is 5. I can't take 8 from 1. I'm going to borrow from the thousands, make that a 5. Okay, so now I have my 10 hundreds over here. 11 minus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11. I counted up and tapped 3 times, so 354. Because 5 minus 5 is 0. I don't need to write my 0 here. I do need to, however, say the difference is is 354 birds. Now, if you're doing it on the computer, you won't have to type that. You'll just have to type in the number. But when you're doing it on the paper, I want to make sure that you're remembering that we're finding the difference. Part B says, estimate how many more birds were seen in the park this year than last year. So we're comparing this year and last year, and we're going to round each number in the table to the nearest 100 and solve the problem. We're going to use our estimate to check to see if our answer in part A is reasonable. So we're going to need to write let's see, how many more birds were seen in the park this year than last year. Okay, so we're going to take our totals from this year and last year. 5,800. Oh no, oh, there went my lights again, sorry. They want us to estimate every number in the table, okay, to the nearest 100. So we can underline our hundreds up here to help us out a little bit, not to do as much work. We know that our boss is the number to the right. That tells us what to do, okay? So 1,219, that 1 is less than 4, so it will round to 1,200. 4,620, 2 is less than 4, so this number will round to 4,600. We'll add that in a minute. 8 is more than 5, so we're going to raise the 2 score. We're going to add 1 to 2, so that number will be 5,300. 0 is definitely less than 4, so the 9 will rest, and that will round down to 900. So then I can add these easier with my estimate. 6 plus 2 is 8, 4 plus 1 is 5, we get 5,800. 9 plus 3 is 12, 5 plus 1 is 6, we get 6,200. Now let's find the difference between these. I want my largest number on top so I can subtract the right way. 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't take 8 from 2. I'm going to borrow from the thousands place and make that 12. I'm going to count up from 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I tapped 4 times, so I know that that is 4. And then 5 minus 5 is 0. Now let's compare. Here's our total birds from part A. Let's see if it's reasonable. I'm going to write it down here so we can compare more easily. If we were to round to the hundreds in our actual number, I know that 5 is greater than 4, so I would raise the score and add 1 to 3, which would give me a 4. This would round to 400. These two are equal, so I know that my answer is reasonable. And that leads us to our next video, which I will do later on today. Thank you for watching. Please only practice the problems that you got wrong on your pretest or were guessing at. You do not need to practice your problems that you got right.